Today's Wednesday, March 29th, 2017. You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show. Hey, everybody, got a great show for you today, so stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I am Tom Seibert. I am the host of the Elevator Radio Show. It is great to be here this Wednesday morning. And if you're tuning in for the very, very first time, welcome to the show. This is a weekly audio podcast where I bring to you the most recent news relating to elevators, escalators, moving walkways, which is not too much, thank goodness, and package it into a nice 30 to 45 minute program where you can kind of take it with you wherever you go, whether it's iTunes, on a plane, YouTube, wherever you are digesting the show. I just want to say thank you for doing so. We've got a good show for you today. Lots to talk about, kind of escalator related to some extent, and my commentary on some of the articles inside the program hopefully will be conveyed across to the listeners out there. I'm sure I will miss some of the points that I want to make. And as always, I encourage you to share your feedback, on the Facebook page, where we have our, people that do that. And if you want to like the page, you will, or become a fan or whatever the heck that is, you will become you will become eligible to win our prize pack giveaway, which may be outlawed in some states. I don't really care, whatever. So, but anyway, go over, like the page, and you'll get information as soon as the show has been uploaded. So, hey, I had a great time interviewing Bob Shepard last week regarding the Elevator Safety Summit, and we had dinner together. And just so you know, Bob is one of the nicest guys that I know. He has put so much into this event because at the end of the day, he truly cares about worker safety and making sure that those that have one of the most dangerous jobs in our industry are safe. And not to say that any one entity is not doing a good job at it, but it seems like the more attention that we focus on safety in the workplace as it relates to elevators and escalators, the better chance we are going to have at cutting the fatality and accident rate down to zero, which some people might say is impossible. But as Bob has noted, if you don't have some number to shoot for, you're never going to get anywhere. So, and again, safety is one of those things where it's kind of not really thought about, or everybody knows it's important, but at the end of the day, I don't know if anybody, in some situations, it's not always the topic people want to talk about. So anyway, going to continue to promote the Elevator Safety Summit as the next weeks that come up leading up to it, and it is fast approaching. So make sure you consider sponsoring, consider attending, making an impact, and so please do that. I think that's about it in terms of my ranting and just general comments regarding that. We do have a prize pack giveaway that'll be announced at the end of the program. So I think that's about it. Next week is April already. Man, it goes so fast, doesn't it? It goes so fast. Anyway, up next we will cover the news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, first news article of the program links directly to what the Elevator Safety Summit is intending to prevent. Article, and just keep in mind this is kind of 2 weeks worth of news. But still, this is an important one. The elevator worker's death in Florida was ruled an accident, and this coming or being reported by the Tallahassee Democrat. So read this. Some of the details in it, I'm a little, I don't quite understand. And obviously when the media grabs hold of an article like this, they don't always have the information or do the research to confirm or to explain what may have actually happened. But if you read it, it says the safety pit switch looks as if it allegedly, or maybe I'm misinterpreting it, was activated and proper lockout tagout procedures was followed. I don't really know either. I don't want to say the procedures were followed. I shouldn't even say that at all. So forget I even said anything. You read it. I'm sure we'll learn more about this excuse me, in the future. The important thing is that we learn from terrible tragedies like this, and that's my encouragement to support to all of you to support the Elevator Safety Summit. The sponsorship registration link is in the show notes. Also, the event packet link PDF. So please do so. It's a worthwhile cause. It's the first type of event of its kind. It's not commercial. It's not intended to have a vendor show. It's not intended to do anything other than just talk about safety and put into practice some programs that can ensure or can help mechanics so that they go home each and every day to their families. So anyway, next news article was probably the most shared and viral video of the week. If you haven't seen it, escalator reversal in Hong Kong. This is a huge escalator, and if you take a look at it, you'll actually, you'll watch the video. I'm not going to do that because I think it's going to blare it in your ears. But it's basically a large, long escalator where it's packed with people, and you just see it going fast, speeding, somewhat out of control, and then a pile up at the bottom of the escalator. And if you can imagine, once you see, once that pile up at the bottom starts occurring, there's really not a whole lot you can do about that. In relation to this video, and I'm going to skip over the next article. Police arrest two techs in this article coming from that I found online was posted by, come on, internet, you can do it. Posted by coconuts.co, because it seems like that would be a good source to cite in this. Coconuts.co. In Hong Kong, two technicians arrested for tampering with Langham Place escalator after pileup, which injured 18. Now, again, translation may not be here. Allegedly should be mentioned all over the place. And it seems as if, according to the article, the technicians put the escalator back into service. There's not a lot there. It doesn't sound as if they had done it with malice and intention to create such an incident. And I don't know. It seems like in China, you see more incidents where if there's an accident, Chinese authorities will basically find somebody responsible and put them in prison. So another escalator accident, which is equally as terrifying. This happened inside a Suzhou subway station. Take a look at the video, and it's scary to see these escalator steps just kind of, as they come up and go in the up direction, just start piling up and popping through the plate. Obviously, accident could have been much worse, but still scary. And and I just want to comment on this because had a good friend of mine explain to me that it's not necessarily that China has terrible safety laws or codes or whatever, but the number of people that are in those metropolitan areas is huge. It's staggering compared to some of the areas in the United States, obviously, and the speed at which building occurs is amazing. So Is there a shortage of technicians to take care of equipment? I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. Can they maintain it well enough for the demand that they have with the population that has exploded? I don't know. But just those are some of the issues a country like that, as it grows exponentially, has to deal with. And when when you sit in a room and have somebody from China and their elevator industry explain to you that they are working on trying to develop some kind of safety code, you kind of you concern yourself. Not to say they don't have a safety code. I don't mean to say that, but trying to make it better or whatnot. It's like, man, it's got to be a tough situation for sure. So, next news article I'm going to comment a lot on, and I don't think I can share it because it is through NBC, and it is I'm going to get out of this link real quick. Oh, maybe I can just pause it. Oh, okay, let me get into it and see. Sometimes when I post things that are linked through other news media sites, they will block it, or they will just basically put a cease and assist warning on it. But this article is probably one that has been shared. Woohoo! Has been shared more often, than not. This was a piece that was produced, I believe, on Tuesday morning. In the reporter who put this together, Jeff Rosen, I actually spoke to on the phone on Monday, and he frantically was trying to find an escalator expert, and an escalator that he could shoot a piece that tied in with the accident that occurred in China for a piece that was going to air the following day, which was Tuesday. So I talked to him Monday, and when I spoke with him, he was looking for, he asked, he was, and I'm just sharing this general terms. He wanted an expert to basically share what to do if an elevator malfunctions and what can happen if you don't ride escalators safely. And I basically told him, I said, there are tons of videos on YouTube on idiots that are riding this equipment incorrectly. But if you watch this video, and I'm not going to play it because, again, I'm going to get some type of email from a lawyer in this situation, just because it's important to talk about, is that the title of it is just awful. It's a sensational media that it totally has me just scratching my head in kind of in anger, because when I was talking to him on the phone, I'm like, listen, any accidents that occur, or not any accidents, but the majority of accidents that occur on escalators are due to rider behavior. That is a fact. That's a fact. But the way that the piece was put together, where it's assumed or it's thought that, okay, an escalator could malfunction at any time. Have they malfunctioned and sped out of control or speeded up and not braked? Yeah, they have. But that number that he cites, the 11,000 injured people that go to an emergency room, that was estimated by the Consumer Product Safety Commission, those numbers are not related to escalators that do what the escalator did in China. So unfortunately, when I spoke with Jeff on the phone on Monday, and I told him, listen, I'm not an escalator expert by any means, and I really don't know who I could share with you. And I basically gave him a whole bunch of different entities that he might want to call and reach out to. And he said he had done that. He was just waiting for somebody to call him back so he could fly out that day. And he was in New York, and I just have such a problem with when pieces like this are put together and seeing how the front end of it works, and how it was simply just a shock and awe type of piece, where initially I'm looking, I'm watching this video, and I'm thinking to myself, he's talking about what to do if an escalator malfunctions. Hold on, and then hold on to the handrail on both sides. I'm like, what in the world are you saying? I mean, you might as well be like not Mythbusters, but you might as well do that for plane crashes and stuff like that. So that was my first issue. And Patrick Bothwell tried to do a good job in sharing the safety message on how to ride the equipment safely. And I totally understand the difficulty that one is in when they are in that interview type situation. I totally get it. Also, I also get double net. What I also understand that pieces like this are cut and pasted. So whatever is interviewed or shared during that segment was most likely condensed down from, it could have been an hour worth of shooting, in where more safety information could have been provided. I mean, it was just, Patrick's a great guy. He is a great guy, and I think he did a good job. But ultimately, the reporter, and this is why I just cringe when I'm between them and lawyers. I cringe when they're like, I want to do a piece on this, and all they want to hear is they want to take whatever you shared with them and somehow relate it or make it so that it totally supports the angle of their piece. There's no like partiality really to the whole thing. And that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate to watch that. And, good safety information was provided, end of the article or piece. Jeff Rosen is talking about, escalator brushes are there to sweep away clothing. I'm like, dude, they're there to keep your feet away from the side of the escalator, so you just missed the ball. And it just drives me crazy. And I understand what you're getting paid to do. You're getting paid to create these small pieces in a very short period of time. But this is why I don't watch this crap. And it was unfortunately not where it needed to go. And what makes me sad. What makes me sad is no matter what, I shared with him, like, hey, listen, I'm chairman of the ESF. These are the safety steps. Make sure you highlight them. Make sure you reference people on how to ride these things safely. And those details weren't going into in the depth that they needed to go into. And honestly, go on YouTube, watch a bunch of videos of these idiots doing stupid things. They're falling over the side of the escalators because it's not because escalators are running away. It's because they're idiots. They're drunk. They're trying to slide down an escalator handrail, and they're sticky. So I don't know. So many issues wrong with this piece, and I don't know. I feel bad for Patrick a little bit because I think he did a good job, but I honestly believe that he shared more information that they cut out of the piece that would have made the piece a lot better, and it's really unfortunate. All I can say is that when I don't know. I just don't like the media and the direction that they go in this stuff, and piece did not do justice to really what it should have done, and that's unfortunate. So that's my 2 cents on it. And maybe I explained it wrong. If anybody wants to yell at me or scream at me or whatever, go right ahead. It's fine. Be happy to have that conversation with anybody who wants to call me and say, no, you missed it. It was a great piece. Said everything you needed to say. Do escalators go out of control? They have. And they typically go out of control, or if there's an issue, when they're in large areas that move a lot of people. But it's not, in my opinion, fair to create a piece like this that, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, nobody else's, does not represent ESF, any association I'm tied with, my company, anything. It's solely my personal opinion. So lawyers come and whatever. But my personal opinion is that this piece was entirely created to shock and awe whoever might ride an escalator, and try to provide them with some type of information so that if the escalator starts to to go, starts to speed up. They know what to do. So anyway, so that's that. I'm done. Yeah, feel free to call me, but puts a pit in my stomach. Same kind of pit when I talked to the attorney that was representing the plaintiffs for a bunch of families who had kids with Crocs that got hurt riding escalators. I'll never forget that conversation. He had no intention whatsoever on calling, indicating that there was, to promote escalator safety whatsoever, or trying to get, the shoe company to do that. Didn't do that at all. And at the end of the day, all he wanted to do was find more cases and find more clients and make more money. That was it. Anyway, well, we live and we learn. And if you are listening to this program, Jeff Rosen, go to eesf.org. That's how you ride an escalator safely, and eesf.org. And that's how you ride an escalator safely. Good idea. Maybe check out Wikipedia, find out how an escalator moves and works, instead of trying to rush around the country to try to get a piece in, for the next morning. Yeah, I mean, just look at some of the other articles segments he's put together. How to, what to do if you're trapped inside of a trunk. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough about that. That's my soapbox talk from Off Point. Yeah, like I said, email me, Facebook me, whatever, call me. It was just somewhat disappointing. Okay. All right, let's move on. Next news article. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, Yahoo Finance. And I don't normally link these kind of articles because they drive me nuts. Because they're typically press releases that lawyers launch to try to gain business and build traction. And I'm not sure how Yahoo is still in business. I mean, they're a company that's like right up there with, unfortunately, with Sears and Kmart and other companies. Like, how are they still in business? Well, this one is a press release, New York Access Wire. Most people use escalators without a second thought. The popular people movers are just about everywhere, an office building, shop, blah, blah, blah. Like any other type of machinery, however, escalators can cause serious injuries while they malfunction. Yeah, they can also cause serious injuries if you don't ride them correctly. I'm not even going to go into this anymore. He cites some details that are linked in the, Consumer Product Safety Commission, Serious Safety. I mean, come on. The reality is that look at the stats, look at the numbers. How many people are hurt on escalators in New York or in the United States that are directly related to escalators that are moving out of control? So really, this kind of article creates a whole nother level of scum for people that are trying to say, oh, I got hurt because the escalator started moving. So, I mean, any data logger, any camera, I swear to you, I think any escalator should have a camera on it so you can see, what happens to people like this. So, anyway, Yep. Sorry, lawyers, you suck. I'm sure you don't all suck. No, I'm sure you don't all suck. I take that back. The ones that suck, you know who you are. How about that? Next news article, the Trentonian website is Kingsbury Towers issued violation for broken elevator prior to woman's death. This one drives me crazy too. Okay, so this is an article talking about in Trenton, New Jersey, where a woman died, okay? It looks as if 4 or 5 days after an elevator was cited, and I don't know if it's tagged out or not, but there were issues with the violations. So here you've got an inspector tagging out an elevator because it is not safe, and yet you've got an article linking the fact, and this was, linking the fact that this woman who went into cardiac arrest didn't get medical attention in time because of the elevator that was out of service. So what, man, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So what happens when, somebody falls down the elevator, gets hurt because the elevator wasn't taken out of service? I mean, come on. I mean, it's an unfortunate incident, absolutely, but at the same time, come on. I mean, I don't know. Lose faith in some things sometimes, and it just drives me, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. It's not as if the elevators had been out for like months at a time, I mean, It's unfortunate. It's truly unfortunate, and I guarantee somebody's going to be sued. Probably a company that manages the elevator maintenance for that elevator. It's still not so good. Next news article: another escalator, not incident, but another escalator article, and it's regarding the Bethesda. Oh, sorry about that. I'm not going to play this because I don't want to blare your ears out. But in general terms, article is about. A new escalator that just opened. General manager comes out and says, make sure that you stand on the escalator and don't, stand right, walk left, because it can wear the equipment out sooner and quicker, and where it's more sensitive, et cetera, et cetera. Just like, here's your golden opportunity to share with people in the world how to ride this equipment safely. And what does he do? He says, well, people will do what they're going to do, so we encourage everybody to just walk. And then at the same time, in the metro, you've got, like PSAs and information telling people to do just that, like stand right, or walk, I don't know, whatever the hell it is. But the reality is just enjoy the ride, man. Maybe that's what we need as a campaign, like enjoy the ride. Even though life is the longest thing we'll ever do, enjoy the ride, because you never know when that might change. Anyway, it's like, geez, here's your perfect opportunity. Who's like, briefing this person on what to what to say at a press release. Although maybe he said a whole lot of stuff and they just cut to the one segment they wanted to share. That's probably what happened. Media, love you. Okay, next news article. Congratulations to Phoenix Modular Elevator, who just opened their new facility, or their add-on facility, but they were awarded a prestigious award where they were recognized by the Modular Building Institute at the World of Modular Conference by being presented an award for distinction. So congratulations, great stuff going on there, and congratulations to you guys. Keep up the good work. Love to hear about you guys in the news, so very exciting. All right, next news article. Elevator woes plague 19th floor building, postgazette.com. Again, a news article where it never really gets into the details or nitty gritty of, okay, what could be happening. It's just blamed on this is in Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Transformers seems to be an issue, but elevator's got some intermittent problems. And, hey, why don't we go into details on maybe the elevator's really old, or maybe, I don't know, maybe management doesn't want to pay money or spend money on an upgrade, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's just one of those deals where you just wonder, why not get into the nitty gritty instead of just saying, oh, elevators don't work, blah, 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 it's an issue. We'll cover the news because it's a slow news day, and not really getting into a whole lot of detail. Yeah, just kind of crazy. Okay, Bar Harbors and theaters installing an elevator. I'm not going to click on that because that's going to play something that I don't want to share just because it's advertising, but pretty cool. We're part of that project. I wish they'd show actually the elevator itself, but they just haven't. They're just in the initial stages of building it. Next article, a device that helped transform America. And this is the patent for Otis's safety brake, and the invention that helped America go upward. And I think it's pretty cool when you think about the men who, or the people, I should say, because I know there were women, although they're not really covered. The men who built America, whether the Rockefellers, Firestones, all those people, more people than I can remember. Otis should have been somewhat involved in that, in allowing, in helping buildings move upward in a safer manner than they could ever do before. So that's pretty cool. And we all know that that's the case. But we are an important industry in what we do each and every day. We want to make sure we do it safely. Okay, next news article, condo business here. Oh yeah, in Ontario, excuse me, officials are considering or looking at legislation that will put time limits on the number of days elevators can be not working or out of service, which kind of seems crazy to me, because you'd think that, with supply and demand, you'd have companies that would be just jumping at the bit to get that business. I mean, if you have a company that can't respond to repairs within a certain time frame, get another company. But if they're all like that, obviously that's a problem. But you'd think that an issue like this would create more competition in that area. Like, you really need a time limit for elevator repairs because elevators not working is such an issue? It seems crazy to me, doesn't it? I mean, so yeah, they're introducing the Reliability Elevators Act, and it's Ontario legislated last week. And I got to tell you, if I was a building owner, I'd be a little concerned about that in my 1920 elevator that I can't get parts for anymore. So I don't know. It just seems like legislators should be able to get this issue solved without having to pass legislation. And then who's going to enforce it? Like, what's going to happen? Elevators out of service. You got to file paperwork or something, or you get fined, or who handles all that paperwork? I don't understand it. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe the elevator industry in Ontario is not as lucrative. I don't know. I'm sure there's more issues to it than I'm not thinking about, but still interesting. Okay. Next article, interesting article on the elevator bid package coming from Omaha World and the Herald. It's really fascinating. I'm not going to get into the details of this. I think both companies are great. But when you read through this, I'm like, whoa. I never knew what went into the review of a bid package. And the details that this article goes into is like, whoa. I mean, it's pretty interesting. So if you're a contractor, this might definitely interest you. And it's also interesting to see that low bid didn't win. So, and if that's the main requirement, it makes you wonder, right? Anyway. Okay, good news, Tier Garage elevator is fully operational 6 weeks early. That's exciting. You don't read about too many elevator projects going in early, so that's good news. Also, I don't think anybody wants an elevator project, go long. They really don't, because you can't bill for that. You can't get it done. It's a whole bunch of issues with that. So anyway, and the last news article of the show, CEA, Chicago Elevator Association meeting is next week. Next Thursday. I encourage you to attend. ECS Corporation is going to be presenting. It is going to be at the Clubhouse in Oak Brook, April 6th, 2017. And just as a reminder, the third annual scholarship fundraiser is also open for registration. So $65 per ticket per person, and then you can sponsor as well. So encourage you to do that. For a good cause. And that's going to do it for the show, everybody. What we're going to do now is we are going to find our email Facebook list and then do our number random.org. Okay. $5,087. Okay. And that number cross links to Jack in Texas, the Dallas area, it looks like. I'm not really sure. Dallas, who is a mechanic. Jack, hey, thanks for listening to the show. I'll be sending you an email shortly so that you can confirm your address where I can send the $100 Visa gift card, and also some cool giveaways that have been donated by some pretty neat companies. So as always, I want to thank you for joining me today. Spread the word about the show, and support the Elevator Safety Summit and any industry event that's in your area. So, all right, everybody, you take care. Be safe out there. Talk to you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.